Howdy, friends and floor heads. Welcome to Thursday night, the long overdue premiere of 7th Sea on our channel. And you'll notice where I'm sitting. I'm not sitting in the GM screen or the narrator seat. We have got somebody I've been so excited to get on this channel to help run us a game. And that is Miss Zoe Jackson. So Zoe, the show is yours.
Hi, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Zoe Jackson, otherwise known as the narrator for the Writer's Room, a 7th Sea podcast. And we're all here today to play the game that I've been obsessing over for 4 years, 7th Sea. Shall we begin? Are we all ready?
I am ready.
All righty. So we begin. Soon as the camera dissolves from black, and we are found in a very well-to-do lodge made of oak, solid beams all across the ceiling, wide open spaces, a grand hall, and in that hall is a table, and that table is laden with all sorts of fruits, vegetables, meats, all sorts of exotic foods that you could ever find anywhere. And there's a chandelier, of course, of antlers above you. And you're all seated at this table. Now, you've all been invited here for a private party, and you are in Vodaci. You are in La Montagna, basically called the Hunter's Lodge. And you've all been personally invited here. Now, what I want to know, as the camera is panning over and we move from servants and various people laying things down on the table and taking off the coifs, as we move the camera and we introduce your characters, I want to know not only what you look like, but also why you're here. And so we're going to pan the camera over to Quinn's character. Quinn, if you could describe your character for us.
Yes. So, Oriana is small, both, very short and very, very narrow, very skinny. Does not look like they could do any heavy lifting. They have dark, somewhat gently curling hair that goes down to their shoulders and is pulled back at the moment. And they seem excited to be here, fidgeting, a little bit nervous, but big smiles.
And as the camera pans away from Oriana, who is sitting next to them?
Well, I think that must be me.
And who
Of
are
course.
you?
Of course I am sitting there. My name, first of all, Fabian. I apologize. My name is Jean-Marie Lassassière, and I am here because I am the reason that party exists. And I am dressed exactly as you would picture me to be. I have
Can we bring the music down just a little bit? I'm so
Mhm.
sorry.
It's okay.
Great. Thank you. Go ahead.
I have a great wig. I have I'm going to hit my mic. I have painted skin with a little beauty mark. My clothes are fabulous. I have a fancy sword which would probably break if I ever use it. And I have lots of money. C'est vrai.
And across from the table, as the camera is panning away from this gorgeous being, across an empty chair at the head of the table to look across, and who do we see? Who do we see first?
You might see Telford. And I am tall, thin, and at first plainly dressed. Simple black dress, but anybody of a discerning eye, like maybe Mr. Mark, can automatically tell how fine the cloth is, how well fitted it is. And those that need to know that I have money or come from money can tell. But otherwise, I'd like to be as invisible as possible. And a very square jaw, very clean shaven, very kept, pulled back, long hair. And I'm quiet, listening. And as far as why I'm here, specifically why I'm seated across from David, is the first thing I try to do is to try to find where I can be next to the person who's going to garner the most attention, because that allows me to be a little bit more invisible.
Yes, in fact, being next to this person, just all of the eyes are immediately drawn.
But of course, where else would they be?
Where else would they be? And sitting next to Telford is
Siegfried Tesfaye. He is a very tall Icen man. He's broad-shouldered, and he is who you picture when you picture a knight. Maybe not with the shining gallantry, but you can see it in him. You can see he's almost like an open book. But just because he seems that way does not mean he is. In his eyes you can see pain of a past that might or might not be laced with family grief or etc. But he takes up your vision when you look at him.
you are, in fact, large.
Yes.
Which makes little Oriana look incredibly small.
So small.
Now, as you're seated at the table, various foods are brought to you, various drinks, various wines from certain provinces in Vodachi. You are in wine country, certain vintages and all the like. And your host has yet to be seated, and yet the large main chair stands stoic and empty and imposing. You're not quite sure who invited you yet, but you can take some guesses. And while you're seated at the table, I would love to run a mini dramatic sequence here before your hosts arrive. Now, what I mean by that, mechanic wise, is that we're going to roll some dice. We're going to approach this situation and we're going to establish some facts about this lodge and about maybe your characters' backstories and how you all know each other. So, as you're seated here dining and conversing with the four of you, there are others here, but they're mostly here to serve. They're not really here to sit. even though the table has several hundred other seats that are all empty. So I would like to know your approaches. And for those listening at home who do not know what the 7C system, an approach is how your character will solve the problem. In this case, it's just the problem of, how did I get here? This is not my beautiful house. These are not my beautiful people. Plenty of days go by. So, does anybody have an approach for me?
Yes, I will demonstrate how the approach works. For my approach, I am going to pick one trait and one skill. And for this scene, I'm going to take actions that are appropriate to that trait and or that skill. So, for example, I am going to, for my trait, I'm going to pick wits, for which case I have 3. And then for my skill, I am going to... I do not want to give away that card yet. I'm going to use convince, which I have 5, because I am very convincing.
You can be, yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my convince plus my wits.
But don't roll yet, because
Oh, no. Because we're going to go through everybody's approach.
we're going to go through everybody's. And tell me, if you want some extra bonus dice, you can tell me how you're using wits and convince to approach the situation.
Essentially, I am going to be speaking to all of the guards and servants, and I am going to be finding out things about the castle that they know, because the servants and the guards, they know more about the castle than anyone else. So when people come and deliver me wine and they deliver me food, I will be casually speaking to them and asking them questions, and they will tell me answers that I want to know.
Of course, that sounds wonderful. So you're going to add not only 1 die, but a second die as well, because you've told me narratively what you're going to do, and you're also using this skill and trait combo for the first time this session.
That is right.
While we do that, does anybody else have an approach for me?
I do.
All right.
So I am going to also be using wits, but I'm going to be taking a more empathy-based approach. I am paying a lot of attention to the people sitting at this table. I am, despite practically vibrating with excitement to be here, I've got a sharp eye, and I'm trying to read the people around me and see what they're about and try and maybe figure out why you're all here. I know why I'm here. I don't know why you're all here.
Okay, that sounds delightful. So on top of your dice for your traits and your skills, you're also going to add 2 to that roll, but don't roll just yet. Anybody else have an approach?
So I'm going to be using panache and notice.
Oh, all right.
So what he's doing, what Siegfried is doing is he's keeping up a veil. So like if while the others are watching him and watching his movements, he's putting up a veil of a very well-to-do person, someone who, like, while you can tell he's a monster hunter, he seems like he's very high. He's very high in prestige.
So you're making it appear that you belong here among the
Yes.
nobility. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're putting up a front.
Yes. And for notice, he's looking at the others for, like, specifically for different kinds of weapons, and like not only the other people at the table, but the guards and the servants, trying to levy out the situation.
Okay, so while you're putting up this front of I am part of this party, absolutely I belong here. I am of the chief cloth. I am also looking for weapons and making sure that there are no threats around.
Exactly.
I love it. So you're going to take 2 for flair as well, but don't roll yet because we have one more approach to get to. Telford, how are you approaching this situation?
Telford's going to approach this in some ways similar, in some ways different, kind of a combination of the other approaches. I'm going to be using wits.
Mhm.
I'm a clever, clever boy.
You are a smart boy.
And I'm also going to use notice, but unlike my friend Siegfried here, I'm not going to be noticing weapons. Anybody can buy a weapon. What I am going to be noticing is how tailored your suit is, your hat. Maybe you have a ring with an insignia, a family crest, something along those lines. It's very important to me that I understand where everybody is, not physically, but in the hierarchy, because then I'll know who I should spend more time with and who I don't need to waste my time with.
I
So that's the
see.
combination of my wits and my notice.
Perfect. So you're going to take 2 for flair because you are a very smart man and you're also catching on to the subtleties. I love it. Now, for a dramatic sequence, there are no consequences and opportunities inherent, not that you know of anyway. And we all have some hero points as well, which is another currency that you guys can use to maybe buy some dice. You can spend 1 hero point to gain 1 die to help yourself, or you can spend 1 hero point to give 3 dice to someone else, but you have to tell me how you're helping them. So would anybody like to spend hero points to gain some extra dice?
Not at this time.
Perfect. Also, all of you have the reputation advantage. You're going to describe to me in 1 word what your reputation is, and it will grant you a bonus die if you are using them in a social situation, which is this. And so, Telford is the only one with his reputation already known as Blackmane. So why are you the Blackmane? How do they know you?
I tried it 2 levels. 1, my hair, of course, which I keep back nice and tighty. That is my black mane. And I like it because it sounds dangerous.
It does have a little bit of danger to it, yes.
So dangerous.
John, I forget your character's name. I'm sorry.
Le Sorcier.
Les Saucier. What is your reputation?
Well, everyone knows Le Sorcier is a famous gambler from Montaigne. And he won the island of La Motte off the coast of Montaigne.
Oh,
It is my island. I keep hitting my mic. I am too flamboyant. So, it is my island, and there the only rules are don't cheat.
So what would you say your reputation is?
I am a very famous gambler.
Just gambling. Gambling.
I will bet on anything.
I see. All right. And Siegfried, what is your reputation?
He's known as the oh, and I just lost it. Sorry.
That's all right.
He's known as the, and I can't even think what it's called. The vampire. Vampire. I can't think of what it's.
Meister?
No. He's the hunter of the vampire.
Got you.
He's known as that person.
All right. Love it.
It's a terrible place you have where have vampires everywhere. That is an awful place. You should move out of there and come to Montaigne.
That's Eisen. but
We? It is the reason I am not there. There are vampires there.
And Oriana, do you have a reputation?
I do. Oriana's reputation is that they are precious. Specifically, they are the favorite child of Prince Mondavi.
Yes, they are. In fact, they are. And they are precious. Oh my God, you're so cute. It's just so small and precious. Absolutely. So everybody take an extra die. And so when we go into Foundry, we're going to get a little mechanical here. Sorry, listeners. When you go into Foundry and you click the little die to roll, you're going to add 3 bonus dice to this roll.
Play.
And I believe it's time to roll the bones and see how many raises we get.
Who's first?
We all roll together, do we not?
Wonderful.
Mon Dieu! I have 8 raises.
Oh,
As do I.
c'est magnifique.
Oui.
And for those of you watching, each dot we have in a trait and a skill are combined, and that dictates how many dice we have. And then you take your 10-sided dice and try to create combinations that add up to 10. I'll quickly show everybody on the screen. You can see how we got the 6 raises for Telford there, and how you see how it groups everything together to make 10s.
And it looks like no one has any traitor dice for me.
No traitor dice.
No traitor dice for me. What that means is any die that does not make a raise, which, by the way, you're making sets of 10 or in some cases 15. Any die that does not add up to that, that is a remainder or a traitor die. I can buy that from my players for a hero point, and I gain a danger point, which is my currency to mess with the scene a little bit. There is no initiative order in a dramatic sequence, and so basically what you're going to do is you're going to spend your raises to establish facts to me, to tell me something about the lodge, to tell me something about yourself, or to tell me something about our host.
So I do have a question, and I
Sure.
apologize for.
That's all right. No, please ask questions.
We're clicking the dice that pops up beside notice.
Yep, beside the skill.
Okay.
And then you should have the option of choosing your trait from the pull down.
There we go.
And then you should have an option to put in the 3 bonus dice that our generous narrator gave us.
Very generous.
And then if you roll, we'll see your raises.
And they disappear too quickly.
So if you go in the little chat bubble, you'll be able to see your rolls.
Yeah, we haven't quite seen it yet, though. I don't think you've... Oh, yeah. Siegfried, you've rolled.
Mhm.
You got 3 raises.
There we go.
Then when you rolled again, you got 3 raises
I know.
again. So,
Yeah, both So,
perfect.
I did not realize that existed.
yeah. So, Keith, I think your forge is a little bit behind us. You're going to have to give it a second when you roll. But I think it's coming up for you.
It'll be all right. So we have a lot of raises on the scene. Who would like to establish something?
Well, seeing as that we have the most raises, I think that it is appropriate for the precious lady to and I. When there is a tie between players, the players decide who goes first. Would you like to go first, or you want me to go first?
I definitely do not want to go first.
Okay. So
Absolutely
I have 8
not.
raises, which means that I can establish facts about the scene or NPCs or anything else. I can establish 8 facts as long as they fall under my approach. So my approach was wits and convince. So, for example, if I use a raise such as when I excuse myself to go and look for the restroom because it is a big meal and I have eaten mightily, I will ask the guard, "Oh, where is the restroom?" And he will say, "Oh, it is down the hall and over here and over there." And I say, "Oh, is that near? That sounds like it is near the front gate." And he says, "No, it is not. It's actually near the stairs to the prison."
Mm-hmm.
And so I spend 1 raise, and that is a conversation I have with the guard. Now, you can spend your raise any way you want, but if it falls outside your approach, so in other words, if I say I take a guard with me and I knock him out and I throw him in a closet and I change clothes with him, I could do that as part of my raises, but it costs me 2 raises to do that because it's outside my approach.
Yes.
Does that make sense? You don't look convinced. You don't.
I
No,
think
it's
so.
well described.
Yeah, so if it's inside your approach, which is mine is wits and convince, it's 1 raise. And if it's outside my approach, like it would be brawn and brawl because
Mhm.
I'm knocking somebody out. I can still do that. You can still do that as an action. It just costs you 2 raises to do it instead of 1.
Yes.
And you always succeed.
Yes, you always do. You have these raises, they just happen. And if
So
it
that is what
is
I will do. I will ask the guard, where is the water closet? Which I
Down-
forget the
down the hall to the left, red door.
oh. And is that not near the no, that's and he says no, that is near the prison entrance.
It's
I'm
near
like,
the,
oh,
it's
I
near
now know where
basement.
the prison entrance is.
Yes. So the
So
prison
that's my
entrance.
first phrase.
Prison entrance near the loo. Perfect.
Okay. So, for my raise, I'm starting to notice that some of the guards seem nervous. And the only time I'm used to seeing nervous guards is when my dad's angry. And he's not here right now, so I don't know what this is about. So I'm gonna just go up to one and be like, is everything all right?
They look around and then realize that the voice came from below them and then look down to find you. I'm going to say that this person recognizes you. They're from the house. And they look
That's
down
probably why I went up to them.
and they look down at you and go, oh, and they kneel down to your level so that you're eye level with them. Oh, little Lori, I was not expecting you to be here today.
I wasn't expecting to be here either, but then I got the letter and now I'm here.
You got the letter, did you? So
Yeah, there was a letter in my room and it said I should come here.
Okay. Can I see the letter? Is that all right?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull it out of my pocket.
You pull the letter and they read it, and all of the color drains out of their face, and they hand it back to you, and they go, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go get some wine. I'll be right back. Do you need anything?
No, I can reach the table. I just got to stand on my
Okay.
just a little.
Do you need a booster seat?
No,
Get you a little box?
no,
Okay.
no, not in front of company.
Okay. Yeah, of course. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to misspeak. I'll be back. And they hurriedly leave
Okay.
the hall, pull another guard aside, and have hushed voices behind a door. The guards. I'm gonna say I'm gonna take a little bit from this and kind of get a reading on the guards are very concerned that you're here.
Okay.
I would like to spend 2 raises because it's wits, so it's noticing things. I would like to spend 1 raise to notice that.
Absolutely.
All right. I am down to 6.
Yeah,
You absolutely notice that the guards are very concerned that this precious little Odachi woman is here.
I think with my wits and notice, I think I only need to spend 1 raise. I would also like to make sure that I notice that as well.
Yes. Yep. You absolutely notice that.
That takes me down to 5 raises.
So Dawid and Telford notice that.
Can I spend? I think it would be 2 raises to try and overhear what these hushed whispers are.
Nice.
Ooh. Yes, that would be 2 raises.
Did you use wits?
I did use
your-
wits, but I used
And
empathy.
it's only one because that's in your approach.
You're right.
Oh,
Because
okay.
wits is noticing. So the 5 traits
Mhm.
are brawn. Is to, the way I explain the traits is how you use them to get out of a room that's on fire. So brawn, you just punch through the door. Wits, you look around, you find a tapestry, throw it over your head, and you get out the door that way. For resolve is toughness. So you just walk through the flames. Like that's how I do it. And then finesse is you leap between the flames and out the window into the conveniently placed fountain that's just below the window. And then finally, panache is you convince somebody else to carry you out.
So it
And that's how
doesn't
you use the
matter.
5.
So
What's
it
that?
doesn't matter that I went wits empathy and not wits notice. I can still.
Oh no, you can do wits and notice. You can do empathy and notice, because what you're
Okay.
doing is you're noticing the way that people are responding to you.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah, so I
I'm-
think that's one race.
I'm the really annoying player who says these are what the rules are.
That's all right. You are the one who wrote them. So you overhear the conversation, and it's only a little snippet, and it is in Vodachi. It is in their native language, and they are going back and forth of, she has the letter. She isn't supposed to be here. No, I understand that, but she has the letter. That means, does Mandavi know? Does Alcide know? I don't think it was Alcide that gave her the letter. That's impossible. Impossible. Do we get her out of here? What do we do? Well, we can't tell Alcide. He'll take our heads. Just go on, I guess. All right. Just don't make it seem obvious that she's definitely not supposed to be here. All right. And then there's some rustling and some movement as one of them makes out for the door.
Oh, secret party. I'm even more excited to be here now.
You're like, yes! I'm totally not supposed to be here.
This is great. Definitely not a bad thing.
As the camera kind of pans away from that, going back towards the table, Siegfried, there are guards that are standing watch, kind of just at the door. They're very, I won't say lazy, but they are
Mhm.
on standby. There's really nothing going on. It's just a fancy dinner party, and none of you, the only one who appeared to have any kind of sword, looks as though it's for show and not for actual combat. So they're very nonchalant and looking a bit bored. But what do we see from you?
I'm going to spend a raise.
Okay.
I'm going to spend a raise. I'm going to notice I'm going to notice the guard run out, like in that hurried pace, and I'm going to hide my caution as my eyes follow the guards out, and I think that's what I'm going to do for now, since yeah, that'll be
So you definitely notice, you can spend a raise to notice that guard is very perturbed,
yes.
very on edge for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, we don't have to kind of like zone in on what's happening with your characters. We can also broaden the scope and widen everything. You can establish something that you can, maybe not you can see, but is in the room. You can establish something potentially about the location, about the party. You can even establish to me how you know another character or player. So you can spend raises to broaden your horizon a little bit.
So I think I want to spend a raise. And the way I want to spend it is when I got my letter, opened it immediately, broke the wax seal, opened it immediately, noticed the quality of the envelope, impressive. Pull it out, and it's not signed. And at first, I was about to disregard it until I noticed the penmanship and realized that whoever sent this is obviously very learned. So that piques my interest a little bit, along with the quality of that. And then I'd like to spend another raise when I was coming into this lodge. Using my wits and notice, I immediately could tell two things about the owner of this lodge. One, they would prefer to be quiet, anonymous, but they can't help themselves. So as a result, the decor tells me everything I need to know about them. I can tell this person is obviously wealthy. I can tell that this person is obviously bred by the crests, the age of a lot of the candelabras. This is not something, the candelabras in this lodge you don't buy. You inherit these. So I think though I walked into a lodge where I did not know the owner, I think I have a much better sense of who owns this lodge. And I may have spent 3 raises in that process. We good?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah, everything in this lodge is indicative of someone who comes from money, who comes from lineage and heritage, and also someone who is quiet and reserved, but in this space, they are bold and loud. Yes.
Oh, I want to spend another raise
Okay.
because I like that. Can I do it because he or she or they think they're safe here? They're safe to be themselves?
Yes. They are very safe to be themselves here. Absolutely. Now, as the camera pans away from Telford, kind of examining the candelabras and the accoutrements on the tables, it pans back over to, I'm sorry, what is your name again? Saucier? Yes?
Le
Is that it?
Saucier.
Saucier. Pans over to Saucier as you are just the center of attention. Just there appears to be just this perfect halo of light around you, cascading from the skylight in the ceiling. That just illuminates you perfectly. Your beauty mark is absolutely spotless. And what are you doing? What's going on with you? What do we see?
What am I doing?
What are you
I am
doing?
entertaining everyone with my wit and levity.
Absolutely.
But however, as I am doing that, I am also marking all of the exits.
That's very
I'm going
clever.
to spend a raise. I'm going to spend a raise to know the quickest way to the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have been speaking to everyone. It is always important when you are a gambler to know the fastest way to the front door, and the fastest way to the back door.
Absolutely. So not only is there the quick way to the front door down through the hall that you came through into this dining area, but also there is a back hallway. While you were trying to attend the loo, there was a servant's back door. It is rather small and out of the way, but if
That is perfect.
But if the front door is blocked, that's your second best option.
I'm also going to inquire to our small guest, Mademoiselle. Are you a family member?
I don't, not Mademoiselle, but I think so. I mean, I think this is my dad's lodge. I don't know where he is.
So you are the daughter of the
Not the daughter, but just child.
Oh, the child. I apologize. So you are the child of the who's the one of the prince? What's the prince's name here?
Mondavi.
Mondavi. Why don't I not know that? So you are the child of Mondavi. We?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, that is interesting. What are you doing here?
But what are you doing here?
I was invited here.
Me too. I had someone else read me the invitation, and it said that I was supposed to be here.
Do you have the invitation with you?
Well, yes, I do.
Oh, may I read it?
Sure. I'll just
Awesome.
take
I
it
will
in.
read the invitation that was sent to her.
You
And
notice
yeah,
that the
I am
hand
suspicious.
you're very sus. You notice that the handwriting is different than your invitation.
Oh mon dieu. There is treachery here. So in it's official canon now in 7th C, non-gendered characters. Are you playing a non-gendered character?
Yes.
The words for non-gendered characters are Tay and Tem.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, I can use those terms if you would like.
Yeah.
Okay. Um so this letter is very interesting. Look here, and I put it down and I say, is it true that you did not read it?
I don't know how to read. I don't know how
I
to
will
read.
spend. I will. How many raises do I have to spend to know that women who can't read in Vadache are fate witches?
I'd say it's
Does
one.
that fall outside my approach?
I would say you being a learned individual, it would only take one raise to know that.
Okay. So you were born with the gift, may we?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Do you mean
look into my
this?
eyes.
Oh. Right now?
I am not dead. I have scientifically proven that it is false. That if a fate witch, a sorte strega, looks into a man's eyes, he does not die. Once again, I am a genius.
There are some various
Um.
scattered claps from some of the servants, and then they immediately stop because they don't know why they did that, but they had to.
It is because I am so impressive. I have 3 raises left. I'm gonna pass until so somebody else can spend raises.
You've definitely caught my interest at this point. Can I spend some raises to maybe notice something you don't want noticeable about you? Maybe something you've given away?
So when you spend raises to say something is true about another character, you have to offer them a hero point.
Ah.
However, you can do it. However, in this circumstance, since you are a new player, I will forego this rule, and you may ask me something that you may notice that I am concealing from the general public.
Yeah, I'm watching you. I wanna.
So, let us say that you, because your father is Mondavi, he does many tradings across there, and you have met Montaigne characters before, characters where I am from, the country of Montaigne, and my Montaigne accent is very bad.
I see.
Nice.
Okay, I'm filing that away for later.
Not really Montaigne's
I
question
have no
mark?
idea what you are speaking about. Of course I am Montaigne. I have this ridiculous accent.
Yeah, no one would do that on purpose, right?
No.
So seeing a bit of the open book that's happening here between those two, I don't know if it'd be obviously Siegfried will react the way Siegfried would react, but somehow if Siegfried, I am just there all of a sudden, like I wasn't there and then I'm there.
He
And-
wouldn't be shocked.
Okay, I lean over and I say, "Did you get a letter, sir?
Can you say that again?
Did you get a letter, sir?"
Yes, I did.
Well, wonderful. I am Telford. Pleasure.
Siegfried, pleasure to meet you.
Now, tell me, Siegfried, the the boisterous man there talking to the child, are you familiar with him? Friend of
I
yours?
don't remember meeting him.
You would
uh,
remember meeting him, I think.
I would very much remember.
And based on the crest and her clothing and stuff, I'm assuming the small one is a child of the same house. Do you know
I would
anything
presume
of her?
so, yes. I would presume that they are of this house or a similar house in Verdace.
I see that you can handle yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever need anything, please let me know. And if I ever need you, I hope I can.
Let me know.
Wonderful.
So are we spending any raises to establish a camaraderie here?
Oh, I'd be happy to do that.
Oh,
Yes.
I will definitely do that.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that'll take me down to 2 raises.
Okay. Now, what is the raise count around? We've got Telford at 2.
I have 3.
Trey. Quinn, how many do you have?
I have 4.
4. And we've 1. All right.
Now, one of the things you can do is you can turn in your raises for hero points.
Yes.
For 2 for 1. So I'm going to spend 1 more raise. I'm going to spend 1 more raise to have a geez, I don't want to do that. So first I'm going to spend 2 raises for a hero point.
All right. Up your hero point count to
And I have 1 raise left, and I want to spend that to say that how long have we been here? Just a couple.
You've been here about, I'd say, an hour now.
Very well. I have already made acquaintance with a lovely maid who, if worse comes to worse, is going to, shall we say, assist me if things should go wrong.
Very well. Out of the corner of the camera's eye, we see this very tall, lithe, bronzed woman walking by with a silver tray. And she is dressed as most of the other servants are dressed, either in a black, all black blouse with black pants or a black blouse with black skirt all the way down to the floor. And as they pass by, they look at you and give a wink, just only one that you can see, and then walk out of your sight into what supposedly is the kitchen.
Very well.
I'm going to turn my 2 in for a hero point to put me at 3.
Perfect. Anyone else would like to establish anything, or maybe turn in some raises for hero points?
I have a question.
I may have an answer.
Can I spend a hero point to establish something otherworldly?
Yes.
Or possibly, okay. Or
yes,
possibly
you may.
Cyrano.
Yes, you may. You may spend a hero point
no.
to establish something out of this world.
So, in the lights, in the antlers, there's almost a weave to it that we don't fully understand, and it's definitely not something humans made. It's something that was definitely found, and by the scratch marks on it, it was dug up.
All right.
I don't know if you'd like to add to that.
I might want to add to that as the camera kind of peers up and is looking at the grandiose antler, like 3-tier chandelier that is holding many candles and has held candles for what looks like centuries. We get a good close look of the what would normally be lines of growth in the antler. They're not really lines. They're swirls and weird, intricate little patterns inside of them. And then as we look back down to the table and kind of have that bird's eye view, slowly leaning in, Oriana, you have 4 raises
I
left.
have so many raises.
So
left,
many
yes.
raises.
Hero
Let's-
points are really handy once the action scene
Let's
starts.
establish some things, or maybe gain some hero points.
I think for now I'm gonna. Okay. So being pretty small,
How small are you, by the way?
I'm like 4 feet, 4.5 maybe.
You
I'm
are
very small.
so small.
I'm so
Okay.
small.
Okay.
I could hide you in my cloak.
Yes, easily.
I notice under one of the tables to the side, there's something under there, like taped on the underneath. It's a dagger. I don't know what it's
Oh.
here for, but I
Hmm.
noticed it. I'm just gonna take that and put it in, like hide it. So I don't know. It seems neat.
So it's going to be, I'm going to say 2 extra raises to not only notice that, because it is hidden, but also to take it.
Okay, I can do that.
Take it unnoticed.
I will do that. I mean, I'm probably not going to use it. I've got noodle arms,
But
but
now you have a dagger.
I do. And
1 more raise.
I've got
2 more raises?
I got
How many
2
more
more
raises?
raises.
2 more raises? Okay.
Yep. And I'm just going to convert those to a hero point.
Okay. Now, as Oriana makes her way back to the table and sits back down, and all of you have kind of mingled and had, moved around and had your bathroom break and, conversed with the various servants, you come back to the table, and all of a sudden, all of the servants kind of stand at attention and alert off to the sides up against the walls. And there's the sound of a grand door opening. And boots walking across the wooden floor. Not hurriedly, but loud enough to be heard in the entire hall. And someone enters the dining hall, and they walk immediately to that head chair, and they pull it out, and they sit themselves down, and the camera is nestled on a bowl of buns that is strategically placed in front of that chair. And as they come into frame, they sit down, and we can now see their face. Alcide Mondavi is a man somewhat in his 40s, but you can't really tell that because of how sharp all of his features are. He has short black hair that is very tidy. Every hair seems to be put exactly in place where it needs to be. They're wearing hunter's garb, old leathers, and they have a bandolier of what appears to be knives across their chest. And when they sit down, they pull the chair back a little bit and slam one boot on the table and then the other.
Good Lord.
And they take out a paring knife and they begin to clean the underneath of their fingernails with it. And they look at all of you in turn. Welcome.
Of course, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Of course,
That's
I stood as soon as he came in the room.
Mm-hmm. Sit.
Of course.
Sit,
Very
please. Well. Please. No need to stand on ceremony. Welcome to my abode. I've gathered you all here because your endeavors and your accomplishments caught my eye. I'm very interested to see all of you here today. Now, remember when I asked you at the beginning why you're all here? Why you all have your letter?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me what exactly you did that may have gained the ire of Prince Alcide Mondavi.
Well, I can tell you right away. It's very simple. The island of Lamont, my island, has often been a place of trade between Montaigne and Baldacce. And recently, Le Saucier has raised the tariffs on Baldacce ships in my going to my making port in my island.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, he wants to negotiate. I think we should play cards.
Clearly.
I think for Telford, it was unwittingly. It was more of a result than a goal. I had been hired to make sure that these two young nobles met each other, and that quote unquote the fate brought them together, made them fall in love. Every time that they were together, the dinners were perfect, the music was perfect, orchestrated essentially the two of them falling in love. And I was paid well for that, because it was critical that neither of them in one way, in any way, thought it was orchestrated. And unfortunately, I think Mondavi was having relations with one of the two, and it ended soon after.
Oof. Oof. All
But
right.
he's pretty smart, and he figured out.
Yeah. Siegfried, why is Prince Asidi Mandavi interested in you?
A few years ago, there was a path that was being forged through the Vulder. This was no ordinary path, as this path was specifically for the Vidachans. They had bought all the maps that they could, and Siegfried noticed that one of the path forgers, the lead path forger specifically, was not human. So to protect the others, and the humans, we can imagine what happened.
Yes. You unwittingly took the life of the main architect there. Got you. And Oriana.
Well, basically, I am the problem child. And it's getting to be about time for me to be married off. And I'm acting out a bit because I'm not in love with that idea. I'm causing some trouble in the household and just making things difficult for my parents.
Now, as Alcide is sitting there, and the camera is panning by each and every one of you, as Alcide tells you exactly why you're here. Telford, you unwittingly broke off a betrothal that Mondavi was very keen on having. Saucier, your tariffs have been by far the most expensive he has ever had to pay for rice. Siegfried, you set back an entire year's worth of path forging so that we can get rice into Eisen. And when he looks at Oriana, he stops paring his fingernails. And for those of you who have high notice, there is just the faintest little flicker of doubt in his eyes. And then he continues paring as if nothing had happened, almost as if he took a quick little breath of inhale. And he says, well, I'm sure we can remedy this situation by morning. You are free to use whatever provisions you would like. Oh, and I do have a game I'd like to play with all of you, if you don't mind.
Oh, I adore
I'd love
games.
to.
I must ask, gracious host, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lodge.
Get on with it.
What exactly is it of benefit to us to play said game? I'm not real clear why we're here.
Why, yes. In fact, I believe your very life will depend on it.
That seems excessive. Could you expound on that?
What?
I can. And he snaps his fingers, and I'm going to give all of you a hero point, if you'll allow me. And I'm going to spend a danger point. I want you all to quickly tell me how you get caught.
How we get
Very easily. I'm just sort of scooped up.
I think that guard that you know just comes over and picks you up and says, "I'm very sorry." Telford, how do they get you?
So both of these guards are trying to come at me at angles where they think they're going to be invisible to me, and no, they're not. I see them both coming far, far away. Reflections coming off of the glassware. I immediately tell it. They put their hands on me, and before their hands touch me, my hands go up, kind of stopping them from touching my skin. I say, "It's okay. I'll follow you.
Perfect.
Don't touch me."
Siegfried, how do they get you?
Siegfried. Siegfried isn't physically taken. He was I can't even think of the word. He was knocked out
Oh, just
by the
come
wine.
up.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the wine was poisoned.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh my.
His wine specifically.
yes. I
You see
love that.
Telford spit out the glass.
To be honest, it is the best way to deal with the ice.
I think we just see the camera as you like finish your drink and you're like, "There's no way," and it's just
That's amazing.
Faceplant into the faceplant into
food.
the pile of mashed potatoes.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And L'Associé, how do they get you?
A pair of very attractive servants pull out pistols and put them at my head. I look at the pistols and I say, "I have not even bought you dinner yet."
So, John, if it's okay, can I have that happen a half second before my guards come on me? And that's me. That drives me to say, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm all
I'm
right.
coming with you.
Yes. And as the camera turns to view all of you, it does that dramatic reveal where it stands behind everyone. And then all at once, whoever is still up and awake is knocked out. And we cut to black as we go to commercial break.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Oh no.
All right, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Now, we're going to get right into it. As the camera dissolves from black once more, we are no longer in that lodge. We're no longer in a house. We're in a field of grass. And as the camera gets lifted, as above this tall grass, we see that it's midday. Sun is high in the sky, and it's partly cloudy. Typical, calm, cool day, probably mid 70s, a little bit of humidity, some bugs are flying around. And as the camera tilts to a downward view, we see all four of our heroes splayed out on the grass, just starting to wake up. Now, Oriana, you wake up a little groggier than most because you have a vision. Something is foretold to you. And I'll give you a hero point for that.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you secretly what it is.
Okay.
But you are going to wake up a little bit groggier because fate has spoken to you.
All right. Very exciting.
Now, when you all wake up, any weapons that you had on you are gone. Anything really other than the clothes on your back are gone. No one knows where they are, and you're in the middle of a vast grass field. To the south of you is the mountain where the lodge was on, and there's nothing but forest and jungle and thicket. To your north, south, east, and west. You're at the bottom of this valley. And Dawid, your character would recognize that you are in Mondavi's reserve, the private one that he uses to hunt in.
It's fine. We're fine.
It's fine.
Sure.
And you all wake up.
Do I still have my wig?
Oh, you still have your wig.
Great. I will take it off.
Revealing
Just black hair with a
Black.
probably pinned up like this.
Okay, to hide underneath the wig. Got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'll say, "Oh, finally!" I'll start taking all the makeup off,
Just smearing it off.
and then I will. Oh, I just spilled all my candy everywhere.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
All right, so I have character names here, right?
Mhm.
Oriana, I will say in perfect vodace. Did I crash? No. Okay, there I
No,
go.
you're good.
I'll say in perfect vodace. Ba-bum. My name is David Merrick, and I am here to smuggle you out of Adache.
And I'm sort of just like
I'm the one who wrote the letter.
what?
I'm going to spend a hero point and say that I'm the one who wrote the letter.
Oh my god, yes.
You wrote the letter?
About 2 kilometers to the south of about 2 kilometers. I should do my Vodache accent. About 2 kilometers south of here, there's a ship waiting for us. I'll spend another hero point to say that's true.
Yup.
I don't understand what's going on. What if you die? What if you're the one that dies?
None of us are going to die.
No, that's not true. One of us is going to die.
No, none of us are going to die. We're going to get to that ship and we're going to get the hell out of
No,
here.
you don't understand. I saw it. One of us is going to die.
Well, I don't put much faith in visions, but I do know that Sorte Strega have them from time to time, and perhaps the 4 of us together can make sure that your vision doesn't come true.
Okay.
So
I need, and I start looking around, and I'm going to spend a hero point to have my deck.
Oh, you don't actually have to spend a
Oh,
hero
okay.
point. No, your deck is given to you It's wrapped in the same bag that it always is. And inside of that bag is a note specifically written to you from your father.
Oh, I'm gonna take a minute to read that.
Can you read?
No. I need a minute. I'm just gonna stare at a little.
Child, I'm happy to read that for you if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
Would you like me to read it in front of your captor here, or would you like me to read it to just you?
Mike. No, it's maybe just me.
Okay. So, gentlemen, I'm going to step aside here for just a moment, and I'm going to read the little one here, this letter. We'll be back in just a moment.
You see Siegfried nod, and as he nods, you see something under his hairline. You see a scar.
Aha.
It's a deep shade of red, but he nods and he walks away.
Siegfried, in your hand is a note written in perfect Eisen.
Okay.
And if you want to read that out loud to it's David. I see the W and I automatically want to say Dawid.
Well, that would be correct.
Yes. If you want to read it to David, it says, I can afford to give you a sporting head start. Good luck. A.M.
Okay. So Siegfried looks to him and says, Does this, am I going crazy? Does this say what it really says? And he shows David, or I'm not gonna pronounce it. I'm sorry. Can you
It's okay.
say it
You
again?
can call me David.
David?
That is
So-
the easiest way to pronounce my name.
So he shows David the note. I'm
Yep.
assuming David can read it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
David, you know immediately that this is not a game that you should be playing. This is the most dangerous game.
This is Mondavi's game.
This is Mondavi's game, and you're
I
all
was
going
counting on him to send us out here.
you're all going to lose if you get caught. But in typical Mondavi fashion, he has given you a head start. Now, Telford and Oriana, you go aside, and Telford, you read the note. The note says, My precious Ori, please be safe. I love you. A.M.
May I call you Ori?
I guess that's what my dad usually called me.
Well, I'm happy to call you Oriana. Or me.
I don't know. I'm having some very confusing feelings right
Well,
now.
that's very understandable. Very understandable. I do need to ask you, is this David person in leagues with your father? Have you seen David around your father?
No, I
Obviously your father
never.
wants you safe, and then we have this gentleman saying that he will take you away on a boat, and if you need protection.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I've never met David or you or the other one before. I don't know.
You just give me a nod if you need any assistance, or if I can help in any way.
Okay.
I'd like to turn and try to somewhat corner David, if he'll allow me.
You're in the middle of a field, so cornering is going to be a little difficult. But yes, you managed to sneak over and kind of corral David on one end.
Do I still have my original letter?
Yes, you do.
So I'm going to open it and say, Now, I have to ask, is this your handwriting, sir?
No,
I see. So you wrote the child a letter, but
I
Mondavi's
I intercepted the letter that was sent to her.
I see. And then gave her
I
a
think
different
that's
letter?
right. Does that I'm sorry, Zoe, does that work with your plot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
You, in fact, I'll give you a little bit of embellishment here. You, in fact, intercepted a letter from Ori's mother, sending her to the lodge to find out exactly who their father is.
So seeing things are a bit dangerous, David, I would like to know if there's any information you feel we all should know. It seems you're quite informed.
It's part of Mondavi's game. He's going to send hunters after us.
So with the bounty,
Mhm.
less than ideal. Are you familiar with this area at all?
I have a rough map.
I would love some rough directions for us to get to safety, if you don't mind.
I have a rough map.
You have a very crude map, yes.
So should
So I'll
we all
point
go to your little boat?
it's not a little boat, it's a ship.
I'm sure it is.
And there's 40 men and women on that ship who are all armed and dangerous.
I hope you know that if I reach safety, I'm a wonderful ally.
Oh, I intend on getting all of us out of here.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
At that
Oh,
moment,
oh, sorry.
on the wind, in the distance, you can hear the barks of what sounds like 100 dogs.
To the boat.
That's about right.
Siegfried goes pale.
Siegfried, they are normal dogs. There's nothing
Well-
supernatural about them, but there are a lot of them.
You know, we have some nice dogs that we keep in the house. I don't think those are the nice dogs.
No, I would tend to agree with you. And I whisper in Siegfried's ear. So I've made arrangements for both of us. I've paid this David gentleman handsomely, and he will allow us to come with him on his boat. As I had mentioned to you earlier,
Mhm.
I give favors, and
You give favor, you expect a favor in return.
well, that is completely up to you, sir. I hope we'll discuss it when we're safe on the boat.
Siegfried holds out his right hand.
Do I
Well,
like to shake
are
my
you
hand?
going to shake?
Oh, well, oh, of course, and trying to like not be rude. You see me like shake his hand, and I might kind of like nonchalantly wipe my hand after I'm
You're like,
finished.
yeah, yes.
So David, I believe we're following you, sir.
South.
And you begin going south. Now, in mechanics terms, this is going to translate into an action sequence that is
Dun dun dun.
It's going to take you 2 rounds to get to the area where the boat is. Because this is a vast reserve and it's full of wild animals, it's full of traps, it's full of hunters, it's got dogs. It's not a great place. And so, for the first round, and this action sequence is called a head start. Mondavi will not be on the scene until after the head start is done. Now, normally what I do is I go about approaches first, but for this one, I feel it needs to be explicitly known that because this is a action sequence and it is a head start and you are being chased, the consequence is not to get caught before you get to the boat by hunters, by dogs, by traps, by God knows what is in this reserve. It is going to take you all collectively 16 raises spent 2 per player over 2 rounds to make it to the boat without getting caught. With that knowledge in mind, how are you approaching round 1?
Fearfully, with much trepidation.
Mine is obvious, and that's going to be wits and hide. So it is. I'm going to be as smart as possible, and as clever as possible, keeping track of David, but I may not follow David per se. I'm going to try to take advantage of the terrain, keep my eyes on, or keep my eyes and ears on the dogs, and try to stay out of sight to take advantage of the grass and everything. So it's going to be wits and hide for me.
Wits and hide. Sounds fantastic.
I am going to use wits and notice. I'm just sort of very wide-eyed, looking all around, getting a little bit panicked, and it's causing me to like become hyper vigilant and just like watching everything.
Okay. Definitely. Anybody else?
I think that I am going to be using wits and athletics.
Okay.
Mainly because I know that Mondavi has set out traps. So I'm going to be looking out for the traps.
Okay. That sounds delightful.
And setting them off. So setting them off safely, which is where athletics comes into it.
Mm-hmm. Siegfried.
So I'm going to approach with brawn and weaponry.
That sounds good.
And where did I put it? Here it is. Can I spend, say, I believe I have 2 hero points left if I'm correct in that?
Yes.
Because I can
Raises your hero points.
hero points.
Yeah.
If I'd like to spend a hero point and say that I find a long, like, it's wood, but it could be used as a club.
Sure. You now have a club.
I think I have 1 left. All right.
So I take it you're going to be on the defense as
Yes,
we're making our way?
Yeah, I'm going to be fighting. I'm going to fight off whatever animal comes after us, whatever person comes after us, whether it be from the air, from the ground, or from in the trees. Because I assume there's going to be trees at some point.
Oh, there's plenty of trees. Perfect. All right. So everybody take 2 for flair on top of their roll. And this would also be a good time to spend some hero points on some advantages to grant you some bonus dice. If you all take a look at your character sheet underneath advantages, you'll find all of the ones you have there. If you just click it, it'll open it up and give you all the description. Some of you have sorcery. I believe 2 of the 4 of us do. In the sorcery tab is going to describe what you can do with that. And also taking a look at your backgrounds. I believe, let's see, we've got a monster hunter and a hunter. We've got a fate witch and an oracle. Ori, if you would like to, you could activate your quirk and let the cards determine your fate for this risk.
I would love to do that.
Perfect. So we're going to activate that. You're going to gain a hero point for that. And if we look at David, let's see.
My plan was to escape from the castle. My plan didn't work.
No.
I'm built to escape from the castle. puts me in the precarious position of asking for help,
Oof. Oof.
which I don't like.
No, but you do have a personal motto. You could gain 1 bonus die to this risk if you tell us what your personal motto is in situations like this.
I don't know what my personal motto is yet,
Okay.
but I'll figure it out by the time we get there, I'm sure.
Okay. And then we've got Telford. Let me take a look real quick. See if you can activate anything here. Get some bonus stuff.
I looked, I didn't really see anything other than I might maybe opportunist as it plays out, but
Yes. Okie dokes. Siegfried, take a bonus die for large. Being
Okay.
large is definitely going to help you fight off dogs and traps and all sorts of things. And Ori,
That was
take a bonus die for being small.
Because that's going to
Since
help you hide and stuff.
that is going to help you hide. Absolutely.
So
Hell, you could hide behind Siegfried and no one would know you were there.
you could be on
You
Secret's
just
back.
hide on Siegfried's back like a little backpack.
I
So
don't know if my
have a
arms will reach all the way
question.
around.
I have a question,
I have an answer.
and I promise it's not like it's not like Evan's question of, hey, can I use this? It's
Bending the rules. Yes, go on.
yeah. However, it's close. Would you consider Eagle Eyes as spotting weaknesses in their defenses?
I would consider that. Yes, absolutely. You do
Okay.
need some excellent vision to not only find out where your threats are coming from, but also to make sure that you're being safe and wary of the terrain. So yes, Eagle Eyes will help you here. So take a bonus die for Eagle
Okay.
Eyes. And now is the time for hero point expenditures, if anybody would like to.
and it is 1 for 1, right?
It is a 1 for 1 for yourself.
I would like to give one to David because I really feel like he's the guy with the boat. I'd like him to make it out of here so I can
Yes.
get on his boat.
Yes. Okay. All right. So David, take 3 extra bonus dice.
Likewise, I'm going to be focusing all of my attention on making sure that the Fate Witch gets out of here. So I'll spend a hero point to do that.
Perfect. So
So
Ori
you get
is
3
gonna-
bonus dice.
Yes, 3 bonus dice.
You can only help someone. You can only help someone once, and you can only be helped once.
Got it.
Yes.
So I would like to help Siegfried, and that is going to be eyes and ears. Making sure, watching for any sign, grass moving, anything odd, shadows, everything. Siegfried can focus on forging ahead. With David, I'm going to make sure that nothing comes from the flanks or anything. So I've spent a hero point if you want to add 3.
Love it.
And I think I have one last hero point, if that's
Mhm.
correct. I can't
Yes.
see him on the screen. I have it written down unless
That's
I
perfect.
miscounted.
Yep. Nope. Doing that is
I'm
fine.
spending mine on Telford because I'm going to say that during the hour that we were discussing, I told him a story about how I had been in a dangerous situation in the Valder hunting a vampire, and I had to like look around, making sure that there was nothing like under the vampire's control watching me, and had to hunt the beasts around me to make sure that I was safe.
Mhm. Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Took it all in too. So immediately putting it to
Yes.
practice now.
Yes. And so take 3 bonus dice. Now, I believe you all can roll the bones. However, Oriana, since you are using your Oracle quirk, you will not be rolling dice. You will instead be drawing cards for as many dice in your pool.
Yep.
And you will make raises based off of the face value of those cards.
Excellent.
For those listening, Oriana, being a Fate Witch, has access to a tarot deck. And so, yes, and so they are going to be drawing cards instead of rolling dice and making raises based off of what the deck decides.
Very nice.
Okay.
And also, their deck allows them to do some extra bonus things, such as in a normal deck of cards, 52, you have all of the faces 1 through 10, and then you also have the court cards. The court cards in their deck do not have a value, at least not a numerical one. They instead have a narrative value. They can hold on to those cards for the entire scene and play them whenever they decree, whenever it is appropriate to do so, to apply certain things, certain extra things to the scene, because they are letting fate dictate how their path is going.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
What a clever mechanic. I like it.
I'm going to roll dice.
Roll dice, roll the bones. Remember, we're looking in the chat box for our raises.
So are you cool with me just using the physical deck?
Yes, I am cool with you
Okay,
using the physical
excellent.
deck. As much as I spent many hours importing the tarot deck into Foundry, it is still terrible to try and use it. It's not
What?
intuitive
I only
enough.
got 5 raises?
What?
I mean, I'm surprised I rolled that high.
Look. Yeah,
9 is 3, 6 and 4, 7 and 3, 10.
that's right.
Man, the remainder thing is
Killing you.
just
killed.
No,
absolutely.
don't worry, you're
killing
getting
me.
one from me. I'm just trying to decide which one
Oh.
it is.
All right. So the other difference between their making raises with cards rather than dice is they can give me the opportunity to use the misfortune on the card and apply it to the scene instead of giving a hero point and getting a danger point. Because fate does not like to be messed with. So it looks like Siegfried has 8 raises.
Mm-hmm.
David has 5.
Mm-hmm.
No remainders, darn it. And Telford
Well, at least that's a good thing.
and Telford has 10.
All right. I've got 5 and a 3 of cups left over.
And a 3 of cups.
Very exciting.
I will take that. I'll grant you a hero point anyway. Take a hero point.
Okay.
And I'm going to apply the misfortune of 3 of cups in a moment.
Oh, boy.
Or not.
I think
No,
I
it's a
will.
pretty spicy one.
I think I will. And Ori, one more time, what was your raise total?
Oh, now I got to do math one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect. Alrighty. Now, as I look over here in my reading of the cups, the 3 of cups, the misfortune is separation or excess.
I don't like that separation thing.
Immediately upon the scene, David, you turn your back for 2 seconds to address Telford and Siegfried, and when you turn around, Oriana is not in the same place they were standing a moment before. Oriana, for the next 3 initiatives, you're going to be acting first, and you're going to be separated from everyone else.
Okay. So, incidentally, one of the other cards I drew, I've got a few of the face cards over here.
All right.
And one of them was the Queen of... Wait, shoot, reading is so hard. Yes, King of Coins. When I draw this card, I may copy the effect of any other card. I would like the Queen of Cups. I see an old trusted friend willing to help out with my current situation.
Very nice.
I
Mhm.
love that. All right. Would you like to describe your trusted friend? It can be a person. It can be an animal.
It is one of the guards from the lodge.
Beautiful.
Is it that guard
It's that guard.
picked you? Oh my goodness.
Oh.
We need to
Yup.
give this guard a name.
His name is Pietro.
Pietro.
Um,
As you're wandering away, you're following some thread. There's a red thread that only you can see hanging in the air, and it's leading you away from the party. And as you're wandering around, it starts to get darker as the woods start to creep in, and from the viewpoint of Oriana, we see the shadows kind of encroach and start to twist and start to turn into something terrible or terrifying. And then we hear, Ori over here. And the camera instantly
What?
looks over, and it is Petro. And they are dressed in hunter's garb, kind of like that ghillie suit with weeds and reeds and all sorts on them. And they're hiding. And they have like black coal like smeared across their eyes. And they lift up a little bit so that you can see their face. And they're like, come here.
Pietro?
Yes, come here.
Oh, okay. And I will approach.
Listen. Your father wants you to go. All right? Whatever that man over there says, and he points over at David's small figure off in the distance. Whatever that man says. Whatever he says, he's going to get you to safety. He's part of a society that helps Fate Witches escape. Okay? I know this is all of a sudden, and I know that this is scary, but your father wants you to have a good life.
He wants me to leave?
He can't have you stay. It's too complicated. Your mother is furious.
And I'm supposed to go with David?
Yes, if you go with David, you won't have to be married to the pompous asshole that your mother has hooked you
Sold.
up with. Say less.
Say less.
David, I'm coming. I'm over here. Let's go to the boat.
You had to be an asshole.
And so he pats you on the head, and kind of is like, all right, I have to actually do some work now. I have to menace you a little bit. It's just a little bit of menace, just a little scary, okay?
Okay.
But run.
Should I scream?
Yes, do scream.
Ah!
And there's like terrible noises over in the distance. David, Telford, and Siegfried, you hear Ori's small surprised yell as they are running in an opposite direction.
Oh, it would appear, David, you're not a tracker by trade.
No, I was supposed to get her out of the castle.
But she's not here, so she's there.
Also,
Obviously,
we were-
she's that way. Perhaps we ought to go get her.
I had a contact outside the
Mhm.
castle we were supposed to meet who was going to lead us through the traps.
That's wonderful. So, but
contact
we're
isn't
definitely
here.
outside the castle.
But we had a meeting point, but we're clearly not there.
Is your contact that blade of grass?
Could I suggest we abandon the plans that are useless
Aren't
now
you a
and go to the
monster
woods?
hunter? Keyword hunter.
Mhm.
That means you
Are
know
you
how
saying that I was the one who was supposed to be?
No, I'm saying that you should be able to get us through the wilderness because you're
Oh.
a hunter.
By
Gentlemen,
all means,
I'm sure
I
there's
should
more
be
than
able
enough
to do
wine on
that
these
if we're
boats.
in the Volder.
It's more than
But
enough
we're
wine on the
not in
boats for
that
us to
bubble.
argue together as we sip. Let's go, gentlemen. Go, 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 go.
Ori,
Let's go get Ori.
I'm spending a
Oh.
danger point.
Okay.
Oh no.
As
Okay.
you're running, fearful of Petro, the terrifying bushman,
Ah!
you actually
Oh, no.
do step on something that makes a terrible snapping noise. And then you are grabbed by the ankle by a rope and launched immediately upside down into the air.
Well, now there's an obviously real scream.
So the scream that all three of you heard before was not as enthusiastic as this new scream. As you also hear the telltale sound of what appears to be a very large whip moving in the leaves. Oriana, you are upside down, caught in a trap.
I
It will
sure
take you
am.
2 raises to escape on your own, unless you have an advantage that allows you to slip free.
I think I literally do have that. Am I remembering correctly? Yeah, it's called Slip Free even.
Yes, so you could spend a hero point to just escape that.
I would like to do that.
Okay. The slip knot is very loose because it's meant for normal people.
Normal sized people. Yeah.
Normal size
It's meant for
people.
me.
And
Yeah.
normal size and large size people. It's not really meant for someone with
For Ori
tiny
sized people.
for Ori sized ankles. And you very easily unloop yourself and fall unceremoniously from the 5-foot drop that you were dangling from and land on the leaves with a crunch.
I'm fine. It's fine.
Now that 3 raises have been eliminated, all of you can rush to Ori's area. They are no longer separated.
Okay.
Good Lord, dear, are you okay?
I'm okay. We
assume
should
This is your father's doing, this little contraption here?
yeah, I guess. Hey, when would be an appropriate time? Can I just use my Oracle ability real quick? Can I just like pull a card out?
Sure.
Because I have a question.
Okay, I have an answer. Hopefully.
You're not gonna like it.
You're supposed to have a yes or no question about the future.
All right, fine.
Oh, you're using that, are you?
Yeah.
All right, ask me your question, Oracle.
My question is, so I know someone is fated to die. Is David the person fated to die?
Yes.
Dun 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 dun.
Damn. Okay. All right.
They are, and I'll even elaborate because it says I need to be entirely truthful. They are fated to die in a way that makes them a martyr.
Okay. Okay.
right. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is going to get us back going south.
Yes.
Excellent idea.
So, raises. So we need to spend 16. So collectively, we need to spend 16 raises?
Yes, collectively, that would be 2 each for every round. And there's 2 rounds.
All right. So I have 5. So clearly, I cannot choose the one in front of me. Okay, I am going to spend 2 of my raises, which means that we bypass 2 of the traps. So Actually, because it falls on my approach. So I have 2 raises, so I'm gonna say that we get past 2 of the traps.
Yes.
And the first one is a bear trap.
Typical bear trap with the open mouth, jaw, metal snag. Okay.
Look at that. And I point at a cluster of leaves and things, and I say, "Look at that." And someone says, "Look at what?" Someone says, "Look at
Do
what?"
tell.
Look at what exactly?
Oh, and I pick up a branch and I throw it at the bear trap, and it shang.
And it snaps the stick in two very cleanly.
And the second one is a net trap that would have caught all of us.
But I have to say, David, you're quite handy to have around. Well done, sir.
I don't know how to get around, but I know what traps look like.
Quick question, Zoe. You mentioned the whip. This is something coming up on us, or
Oh,
was that the trap?
The whip was it was the sound of the trap.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we spending raises in a particular order at this point, or can we just do things?
Well, normally there is a particular order. There's an initiative order. It goes highest raise and then down the line. But because there's technically no opposition, such as a villain on the scene, quite yet, I'm fine with throwing out the initiative and just spending raises willy-nilly. You do have a goal. You need to spend at least 16 raises, or at least 8 raises this round,
Right,
in order to keep the head start.
All right, I am going to spend my 2 raises to keep the head start because, like I said, I'm intent to not fall into another trap. But as I'm looking around, I notice a path that I think will actually get us where we're going a little bit faster.
Oh, like a deer path.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the camera is following you as you point out the untrodden deer path along what appears to be a main trodden path. And we follow the camera as all 4 of you head on in there. So there are 4 raises spent out of the 8 for this round to keep the head start.
I think I'm going to wait if we have any opposition, and if we don't, then I'll spend last.
Okay.
Siegfried?
I think I'm going to spend 2 races.
All right.
I'm going as I'm moving. I'm going to gather sticks, stones, whatever's heavy, and I'm going to be like gathering that, and I'm going to ask, and a lot of these. So, and I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask David to point out the next trap.
Okay.
If he can.
I sure can, actually. The next trap is an arrow trap.
Oof.
So
Particularly
that's 3
nasty
raises I
ones.
spent.
It'd probably go right over my head. I think I'll be fine.
Yes, it would have gone over your head.
Really?
However,
Literally?
it would have hit the Eisen in some very embarrassing part.
It would have hit the Eisen like in his chest and his stomach.
Oh, yeah. It just would have been terrible for you.
So Siegfried, having been pointed to the trap, is going to he's going to run as fast as he can and hit the whatever is shooting the arrows as hard as he can with those rocks and sticks. And if I need to spend more raises, I will.
I think brawn and weaponry you're using the sticks and the rocks as weapons. It's within your approach. I'll accept 1 raise.
Okay.
And you said you were also spending 2 raises to
So this, I think that would finding the sticks and stones would they cost a rate more than one raise?
There, I believe the theater of the mind trumps everything. There are plenty of rocks and sticks to find. You don't need to spend a raise to do that. I'm more so asking if you're spending the 2 raise to keep all of you on the head start.
Yes.
Like instead of stopping, like, oh wow, wait, guys, hold on. This boulder right here is actually really large. I just need a minute to get it up. It's just like, nope, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna grab
No.
and
Like
go.
keep
Grab and
going.
go.
Like
Okay.
he's.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Zoe, am I able to have any sense of our pursuers as far as where they are and how close they are?
Yes, they are to your southeast, and they
Ooh.
sound a ways off. Probably, I'd say maybe half a mile.
So
But
I
they are dogs, and they will be gaining fast.
would like, and I'll allow you to tell me how many raises with wits and hide. Recognizing their dogs, I am going to look for anything that smells like this wood. So flowers, sap, or anything, and collecting it as we go. And without asking permission, start putting it on ourselves, right? So just just as we're going, and trust me, it'll wash off, and to hide our scent
Covering
as
your
much as
scent.
possible. Yeah,
I love that. So spending the 2 raises to keep the head start and
correct.
hiding your scent. I love that a lot. Alrighty. So where are we at for raises?
I have 2 left.
Okay.
I've got 8.
That must be nice. I have 3.
Well, I'm gonna hold on to my 2 while the guy with 8.
Yeah, Telford, let's spend some raises here. So we've successfully done the first round of head start, so we can't put any more raises to that. You guys are on, you're moving, nothing's stopping you. You're delaying the dogs a bit by masking your scent. I'm gonna spend danger point. And as you're walking through the woods, it all of a sudden opens out into a poppy field. And the poppy field is very wide. You can't see the trees on the other side. There's almost like a hill, and it's just a field of poppies. And as you all walk into the poppy field, it's brightly colored. They're beautiful red poppies. As you're all walking, you do feel slightly woozy. And I'm going ahead and spending a danger point. It is going to kind of, I won't say poison. I won't outright poison you, but it is a kind of sedative that these poppies are giving off. They're pollinating. And Siegfried, they are very strange. You've seen poppies before. They sometimes grow in Eisen when it's not, muddy, which is it 90% of the time. They seem to have this strange glow about them. And Telford, you being from Avalon, also kind of noticed this strange, I'm just going to give this to you for free. Notice this strange coloration is a little bit too bright. There's something weird about these poppies.
Can I spend some raises to have recognized this soon enough to help not negate it, but mitigate it by suddenly Telford is pulling handkerchiefs out of places you didn't know he had pockets. This is for you. This is for you. This is for you. Or,
Yes, you can spend 1 raise each to give
Perfect.
them all some covering to prevent the poisoning, the sedative from setting in. Mechanically, what would have happened is I would have had to ask you to spend an extra raise to get out of the poppy field.
Gotcha.
Yep, it's an obstacle.
It is an obstacle, yes. But you don't have to worry about that because Telford spent 4 raises. So that brings you down to 4, yes?
No, 4, correct.
4.
Yeah, 4.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So now that we've gotten the biggest initiative out of the way, that's a really easy way to whittle it all down. I've spent 2 danger points so far. Anybody else have anything?
I have 2 raises. I'm cashing them in for a hero point.
All right, take a hero
Nice.
point. Perfect. Siegfried, what
I
do you
should
got?
have 5 races left.
Mm-hmm.
If my math, if I wrote down correctly. So, I'm gonna sell you 4 of them,
Okay.
and for the last one, I'm for the last one, I'm going to pick up a rock, and I'm going to break the stick that I have into 2 pieces,
Okay.
so that they're 2 sharp
Mm.
ends.
Going to stick them with the pointy end, I see. All right. So you now have a pair of batons that are also sharp on one end.
All right, I will buy 2 hero points. That brings me up to 5 and down to 0 raises.
Perfect. Ori, how many raises do you have remaining?
I have 2.
2.
And yes, I think I would like a hero point back.
Okay. All right. So as we go and finish this scene, we get out of the poppy field and take those handkerchiefs and put them behind your neck because the sun is just beating down on you as you walk through this poppy field.
Oh, those are very expensive. Okay.
I just imagine Siegfried just wiping his face and then like in his shirt blows his nose in it.
That's what I was thinking.
A gift from me.
Sneezes into it, and it's a
It's a gift.
nasty
Take it.
No,
sneeze.
Take it.
it's yours. It's yours. Please, please, please.
Now, as you crest the hill, you can see way off in the distance. You can see the sparkle of the sea. Can't really see the ship, but the sea is out there. You just have to get through this heavy, dense forest in your way.
David, should we see this large ship of yours by now? I don't see any masts or
The jungle's in the way.
the jungle's in the way. Okay. Very well.
And the jungle is making jungle noises. The subtitles come up and it's just brackets. It says menacing jungle noises. And you are going to have to pass through this jungle in order to keep your head start and get to the beach where supposedly the ship is docked. But we all know where the ship is. So how are you approaching round 2 of the head start?
Definitely finesse. And notice.
All right.
I'm going to use panache and convince.
Okay.
Looking forward to this.
Not
Explain.
yet.
I saw that coming.
I don't get the bonus die. I get the flare, but I don't get the bonus for
Don't get the bonus die. That's true. All right. Soon.
I am going to use resolve and athletics. I can see the water. I just have to get to it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get to it.
Just got to get there. Yep. And Siegfried.
Resolve and weaponry.
Okay. Still on the defensive offensive.
Yes. So as he's gonna find as many sticks, like big ones that he can give to the others as weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily to use specifically to harm other individuals, but maybe to clear the path a little bit,
Sure.
or push sticks of poison oak out of the way.
These are very nice sticks, sir, but you realize how many sticks I could buy with that handkerchief. No. Thank you. That's right.
Still on the handkerchief. I love it.
It's embroidered.
it.
I don't know if you noticed the embroidery. Okay.
Alrighty. This is an action sequence, and before there weren't really consequences because you had kept the head start. However, the dogs are a lot faster than you. What do you got, Ori?
I've got a Knight of Coins. Play before rolling raises for an action sequence. Choose a skill. All heroes gain 2 ranks in that skill until the end of the action sequence.
Nice.
Looks like
So 2 raises or 2 dice?
2 ranks.
2 ranks in that skill.
So you
it's
get.
before rolling. So we all chose, I think, pretty different things.
We did. We've got Telford with Notice, David with Convince, Ori with Athletics, and Siegfried with Weaponry.
Yeah, and I don't need the dice. I've got a lot of dice. So
Okay.
let's give it to someone else who's short. Not short like you are, but
So do I select the other thing and then use it like that? Because I have 4 weaponry. So do I select that before we roll?
I get to pick, and so basically one person's gonna get an extra 2 dice.
I mean, we got to see what the panache
Yeah. I mean,
approaches.
he's gonna die. You might as well have a good time before he does. So I'll give. I'll choose Convince.
There's only one way to die in this game, and the conditions for that are not yet present.
Nope, not yet. So, David, you're going to take 2 more ranks in your skill. I believe Convince is already maxed, but I'm going to go ahead and say that you gain 2 extra dice. You don't get any extra like bonusy things. I don't think it really goes past rank 5.
No.
So you're going to gain 2 bonus dice from that. Only 1 from Flair for you. And then gathering any... I think your reputation will... your actual reputation will help you in this, since you are being... I'm not quite sure what you're being, but it sounds social to me.
I'm also going to use my personal motto.
Oh.
Which is I'm going to look at Ori and I'm going to say, trust me, we're going to make it out together.
I love that. So gain a bonus die there.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell Ori doesn't entirely believe you, but is touched nonetheless.
We're here now. All right. So as I previously stated, there are dogs. And the dogs are a lot faster than people. You may have a head start on the people, but the dogs have caught up to you. And so the dogs are going to be an ever-present threat. They are in 4 brute squads of 3. And each of you has a squad on you.
Okay.
Now, brute squads do not deal their damage until the end of the round. And so unless they are dealt with or otherwise taken care of before then, all of you will be taking 3 wounds. And so the dogs are going to be an ever-present consequence as you are trying to keep your head start from the people and making it through this jungle. And no, Ori, they are not the dogs from the house.
They are not the friendly dogs. Okay.
They are not the friendly dogs. These are, if I were to give them real world images, Irish wolfhounds, setters, pointers, hunting dogs. They are lean, they are mean, and they are on the trail. And I believe it's hero point time if anybody wants to spend... no, we already did that. You're already spending hero points to help each other.
Did we? I think we did last round.
Did we? We did last round.
We didn't do it this round.
That's right. I'm sorry. So if you'd like to spend hero points to help each other access some advantages or do some things, please do so.
I am saving my hero point for my advantage.
Okay.
And you can only help somebody once per round, so I could help Ori right now.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to go down to 4 hero points. And Ori, with your approach, with the resolve, and your, there's a straight line between you and the goal. I'm going to use my notice and finesse to stop you from like making, running into things and not paying
Gently
attention.
redirect my straight line towards the goal.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I'm a bit of a hummingbird around you as you're going. Whether you notice or not, it is helping. Oh, the branch here. So okay, good.
Oh, watch it.
That's a
Redirect yourself right here. Step on that rock, not that one. Got it. I love it. So take 3 bonus dice.
Excellent. Would love to.
Siegfried, are you going to be helping anyone, or we're spending
I
some?
think this round I'll keep my hero point.
Hey, I see your T-shirt.
Good. Yeah.
My
This
Badachi
little
shirt
note
is in
that
the
you
laundry.
left-
What's
This
that?
little note that you left about Ison.
Oh, yeah,
Stand up, Keith, because the audience can't see it. Just stand up real quick so they can see it. Keith. Very nice.
It's the Eisen
Ison
shirt.
coat of arms.
The Eisen
Very
coat of
nice.
arms. Because we are strong, we are Eisen. All right, I believe it's time to roll those bones.
Let's do it.
Get some raises. Oh, I love that
Oh,
sound.
I had a much better time last time. Ah.
I'm going to be using my cards again.
Oh, you're going to use your cards again. All right, take a hero
Yeah.
point.
Nice roll, David.
Oh, now David's the one with 10 raises.
I'm going to need them.
Yeah.
Siegfried's got a good one too.
Are there any remainders? Any at all? Any at all? 10, 9.
My thing is clogging down. 1 second. Let me
Sure.
close an app, a couple apps, and see if that does it.
None there. Yeah. Damn it. None there.
Can we string together multiple cards to make a 10, or does it have to be 2 cards?
No, it can be
Or
as many as
dice.
you need to make 10.
Okay.
So can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you click on my 4 raises?
Mhm.
And I know I need to go to 15, and I get 2 per grouping, right?
Yes.
But I'm only seeing 6 being used. Does that give you 2 left over because I rolled 10 dice, or how does that work?
That's what I'm looking at right now. I see the 8. That is very strange.
Or do the doubles do anything? Does that have 2
No,
8s, 2 5s?
There is something that does do things with doubles, but Telford does not have it.
Okay. So I think I have 2 left over.
4, 5. Yeah, there's a 5. Why is there a 5 and an 8 left over? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Because it doesn't make 15. It does still make 10 though.
Oh, okay.
It does still
Right.
make 10. So
Got
you would
it,
have
got
5 raises.
Got it. It's weird that it didn't. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
And just-
Foundry is not the best.
Well, and then the other thing, again, not being familiar with the system, it says I rerolled 4 and got 4. What does that mean?
You re-rolled the face value on the die. So you re-rolled a 4, you got a 4.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And why did I get a reroll?
You get a re-roll if you have rank 3 or higher in a skill.
Got it. Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm.
I have no remainders this time also.
No, none, no
None. 0.
misfortunes. Ah.
Nuh-uh.
How many raises, Ori?
4.
4 raises. Dang it. Y'all are killing me on danger points. Every time.
Well, that's so you can't kill us with danger points.
It's true, but come on. Just a little bit of danger, as a treat.
Yeah.
We got 5 points.
I actually have 3.
Okay.
Danger
Actually,
point.
To clarify, this is an action sequence, right?
This is in
Yep.
fact an action sequence, yes.
Very good.
I don't like the sound of that.
You're gonna like the things I say next
I'm
even less.
so I'm so excited. Okay, so now that we have raises, we are in fact going to stick to the initiative here. Now that there is opposition on the scene, we've got dogs. As the camera is kind of panning away from all four of you, kind of looking off into the distance and looking at the jungle and kind of talking amongst each other, we hear the barking of the dogs rather close. And as the camera turns to look at the poppy field, we see a couple of the hounds bound over the ledge, and they are gaining.
Okay.
So,
I have the
David,
most raises,
yes,
so
you
I get
do.
to say who goes next.
Yep.
So, because that's how initiative works in the game. Whoever has
Mhm.
the most initiative raises gets to say who goes next, including me. But I'm not going to go for me. I'm actually going to say Telford. Why don't you go first?
I'm happy to. Happy to.
Okay.
They're here. I'll catch up. So, with notice and finesse, I would like to maybe an old stone wall or something that I could potentially collapse and create a obstacle. So I don't know if it's a tree that I could knock over because it was about to break anyway, or something along those lines. But with my notice and then with finesse, I'd like to slow them down. However many raises that would cost me.
Sure. So I think it's only one raise to really notice it. It is within your approach, and it is, I think, still one raise because you're using finesse to kind of just like move things around. But I'll also give you this. This was the site of a successful hunt. You do find a skeleton holding a sword, kind of, just stretched out. It's long decayed. All of the flesh and muscle are gone, but it is the successful site of an old hunt.
The condition of that sword?
Decent.
Okay.
A little rusty, but workable.
So one to keep the lead, right? With the throwing down of the obstacle of the tree,
Yes.
and then Siegfried, old boy,
Mm.
another to found the sword and toss it to Siegfried.
Okay. Siegfried now has a sword.
And I have spent 2 hero points.
Ho ho ho.
There's no reason to name call.
Well, no, again, I think you and I are probably the only two who understand that reference. Siegfried now has a sword. Ho ho ho.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
as Siegfried catches that sword, and David is not going before me. Is that correct?
No,
That's right.
so what's going to happen is since Telford passed you a sword, I imagine you're passing the initiative to Siegfried as well. And
Yep.
so Siegfried, it is now your initiative. You get to go.
So as I catch the sword, I'm going to spend. Oh, I think it would cost. It would end up being. It would end up costing 2, because it would be finding. So as I catch the sword, I'm going to put it in the, like. There's not a thing here. It's going to be in the fabrics. Like, what
Okay.
fabrics are here? I'm going to use that as a wrap. I'm going to tie it. That's not where I'm spending my points yet, though.
Okay.
I'm going to use them to find dry foliage and some rocks. I'm going to also, and I think it would cost another 2 raises to start a fire.
Yeah, I believe so. Weaponry is you are starting a fire, but you're not using the fire as a weapon.
Not yet, no.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. So that's 2 raises there. Perfect.
All right, Ori, you go.
All right. I focused on moving forward. I'm going to spend my 2 raises contribute to getting us out of here. I'm very small, but I'm doing my best to move branches and sticks out of the way for everyone, keeping a path clear. But while I do that, I have some cards to play. I'm going to play. I'm going to play, first of all, Queen of Coins. All other players gain a hero point.
Ugh,
That's for all of you.
that's delightful.
And then the real fun one. I'm going to play Dame of Wands. As I'm pushing through the foliage, it seems that some of the sailors have come to meet us. A friendly Strength 5 brute squad arrives on the scene to aid you.
Oh
Nice.
my goodness. I love it. Hey.
They're with you, David.
David, your contact is there, and they're just like looking at their, looking at the sun, like, man, where they're supposed to be here by now.
Looking at the sundial on their
Looking at the
watch.
sundial
Or
on their
their
wrist. Actually, no, it is. They do have clockwork. Clockwork is just starting to become a thing, so it is a little bit more advanced. So they're looking at their watch and checking the sun, and it's like, where have you seen it? And then we hear the dogs in the background, and then we see Ori burst through the underbrush.
Oh, I found people.
And they all kind of look at each other, and then I imagine David rushes through the underbrush right after, and then Telford, and then here comes Siegfried with
Siegfried with a sword in his side and a fire in his hand.
Excuse me.
So, with all that in mind, I'm going to go next. Will you give me a hero point if I use a raise to say that her husband-to-be shows up with brute squads?
Yes.
I get a hero point.
Yes. Take a hero point.
I hope you're going to do something good with all those hero points you have.
We're working towards it.
I have 3, and I have 9 raises. So watch this. That actually should be my personal motto. Watch this.
Watch this.
He's the husband to be has shown up with brute squads, and I'm going to spend a hero point. I have 3 of them for "We're Not So Different."
Could you please read what "We're Not So Different" does?
"You're Not So Different" means that you spend it when a villain is in play, and he's a villain, which is now the condition for someone to die, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it means that the villain thinks that I'm a villain.
Yes.
And I tell him, I said, I brought her. Where are my 5,000 guilders?
And so this man swaths out, and he's got a sword and, this gorgeous hair tied back, and he's wearing this red, like, insignia half cloak, very Inquisition looking, and he has this horse face. It's just so long, it's almost disproportionately long, and he looks at Ori and smiles, and it's half of his teeth are black. There's like one gold tooth that wasn't put in correctly, and he laughs and he says, "Yes, I knew you would be here. Your 5,000 whatever guilders are right over there." And he points with his sword kind of haphazardly off in the corner.
If they're not in my hand, you don't get the girl.
Oh, come on. I carted them all the way here through all this jungle. It's right there. Look, it's in the chest. And he moves a palm frond, and there's a chest, like a battered chest with some gilder kind of spilling out of it. The catch.
All right.
Well,
suspiciously, I go to the chest and I open it, and it should be paper guilders. I specified paper guilders.
It's a chest.
It's paper. I'm going to spell 2 raises.
Okay. They're paper guilders. So there were a couple of coins just like accidentally shoved in the chest. This chest is very old, and so a couple of guilders fell out. And then when you open it, it's just a pile of paper guilders, just thousands upon thousands upon thousands of guilders.
I will go next, and I will spend one of my convince, and I will say, very well. Here she is. You can use the pirates. They will take you to wherever you need to go because they're paid off. I convinced the pirates to do that. And then I will go to Ori, and I will smile, and I will say, I only have one thing to say to you. Vero corrigia. And when I say that, because I have convinced the villain's brutes, I have paid them off, they all turn their guns on the villain.
So I was in the process of making a sheet for this villain so that they could be on the scene. They are immediately rendered helpless by this turning of events. And it's, I won't say unfair, but it is a little odd because there are 10 people just all aiming their pistols or their rifles or their cutlasses or their daggers or whatever it is they have at this villain, and he kind of does the turnaround thing where he like clinks his sword against all of them and is like, you can't do this. Whatever he's paid you, I'll pay you double, triple. There's no way that, Ori, you want to be mine. I can't have this happen. And he slams his...
Question, can I use my magic to pull him off his feet?
Yes.
Into the mud.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah,
So
I'd like to use
So
pull.
tell us, as the camera is pointing at Ori, how do we see the magic? How do we see you pull this person into the mud? What does it look like?
It starts off small. It looks almost like my hands are glowing a bit, but if you look closely, it's not my hands that are glowing, it's the threads in between my fingers. And I just grab and I yank.
So we see Ori yank, and at the same time, this foppish Castilian gentleman is waving his sword around, and then all of a sudden just face plants into the mud as if he was pulled, that there were strings on his shoulders and his neck and just pull him down into the mud. All of the pirates laugh. A few of the guards that David had paid off smirk, and some of them put away their weapons knowing that this guy isn't going to do anything. And David, your contact, comes up to you and says, listen, we don't have a lot of time. We're getting ready to make way. There are merchant ships on the horizon. Mondavi must have made a big scene about it.
Then we'll have to move fast.
Let's go. Are we taking this guy with us?
Well, yes, because there's a price on his head too.
And he kind of looks up from the mud and it slops over and he's like, huh? And then gets picked up and carried and hauled away. And so now you have this villain.
You have the villain and we have the Fate Witch. And I will take the 5,000 guilders and I will give them to Ori.
What?
This is for you because everyone deserves a fresh start.
I love that.
So many.
I also get a hero point for that.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
So Zoe, what do I need to spend between my 3 rate, or let's see, what do I have left? And raises. Do I have 2? No, I'm spent on raises. How many hero points do I need to spend to notice the horses and to get Ori and myself on one of them?
1.
Okay. So I give a bit of a nod, David, because obviously this doesn't happen very often. I misread him. And it was a bit of a roller coaster because when that started, I was like, of course, I knew it all along. Oh shit. Okay. And in the confusion of the dropping guy and the flipping guy, I am going to, in a way that it's not been obvious by my physique or anything, but with incredible amount of finesse and just a glide. With one arm, if Ori is okay with it, I'm going to grab you and I'm going to put
I'm used to it.
I'm gonna I'm gonna
Swept
put us
up.
put us both on a horse and um
Off you
let's
go. All right. Alrighty. So we are unfortunately nearing the end here. So I'm going to
It's
have
a nice
to give
cliffhanger.
all of your hero point as we kind of like pan away from that, and we see over the poppy field, we see a bunch of dogs just standing there, almost like Doberman-esque. And we
It's
see
me and the Eisen guy.
it's you and the Eisen guy. And we see this figure come up, and we see this figure take something off of their shoulder, and we see them aim it, and we hear the I will give a hero point to someone if they take a dramatic wound right now.
Okay,
I'm
hold
taking
on.
it.
Yeah. So before that happens, I will turn to the Eisen guy with the dogs and everything. And clearly the Eisen guy is like 4 feet taller than me. Blah. He's got a sword. And I turn to him, look up, and I go, I hope you can fight.
Fight? I was
And then the crack
trained
happens
to.
and he gets shot.
So as you're standing there, the camera is still faced on David. We haven't really gotten to that. We hear the crack, and then we see a blood splatter across David's face as Siegfried takes it in the shoulder. Now, you're a big guy. You're large.
Ye-
But that shot hits you in just the right way to kind of knock you off balance.
I lose feeling in my arm as well.
Oh, take a hero point.
It's not just losing feeling. I can't move it, kind of feeling.
Oh, it just incapacitated you entirely.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bleed. It's not like overly bleeding. It's just a small trickle of blood. But oh boy, did he get you. And then we see Mondavi walking through the poppy field, headed your way. And we're
All
going
right.
to cut to black.
So we're gonna fade to
And-
credits. We'll be back on the other side. Well, wasn't that fun? That was just outstanding. So just a couple minutes here before we break, and of course we will have an episode 2, so keep your eyes on the schedule. Before we went live, Quinn, you had mentioned that not only had you not played Seven Seas before, but you had mentioned that you're most familiar with the Dragon game. So I am just dying to hear how you feel about this, having it be something relatively new.
So, I think the biggest, most noticeable difference with the Dragon game, as a player, I often feel as though I'm being told a story. The game master is telling me a story. The dice are telling me a story. And in 7th Sea, it feels like I'm helping to tell the story. I'm telling a story. The other players are telling the story. Zoe obviously told a bit of the story herself, but it was much more collaborative. We were all telling a story together. I was an active participant and not a passive observer.
All right, I'm going to ask one more question. Then Zoe, I'm anxious to hear what questions you have for the players. But John, there's somebody in chat that said uh, had a lot of fun. Said want to buy the core book, but I want to find out from John the best place to buy it.
Chaosium.com.
Perfect.
Yay!
All
Thank
you,
you,
Zoe.
by the way.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for coming to play. This has been fun. Zoe, do you have questions for us?
I do have questions for you. It's a very important question that I ask all of my players at the end of my sessions. Did you all have fun?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, Zoe. A lot
Very
of fun. And
much.
your familiarity with the system was huge, considering I had never played 7C. I'd only read it. And having Quinn be relatively new. John, you did a great job of filling in gaps with the rules and helping us understand that. And Keith, you grabbed right onto Siegfried and you just worked them, and I loved it.
I
Well,
tried.
I wanted to like give examples of how you can spend raises
Yeah.
and the end scene with the villain showing up, right, was really important. As soon as I saw where Zoe was going, I was like, okay, clearly I am here to save to help the Fate Witch get out of here. Clearly I had another plan. I was going to be there to steal a Cernith artifact, but then I found out, oh wait, there's this note, and and a lot of it is just saying yes to the GM's prompts,
Yeah.
right? And 7C is built for players to say yes to things. And you can say no, but you just don't get rewarded for it.
Well, and I love the who wants to take a fatal wound, and Keith, I think you pulled something, raise your hand so fast, but that fits the
Yeah.
game, right? That's all part of this. And it's not a winning scenario. It's just like yes, Siegfried losing, getting shot makes a ton of sense, right? I do
Yeah,
love
the
that.
big icing guy. I
Yeah.
was gonna have him like jump in front of, like, describe him jumping and the blood, like his shoulder getting blown to
hmm
well, I can't find a good word, but blown away, and like taking that wound instead of somebody else getting it.
So last question, and I always make it a random question. So I've got a random question generator that I have in front of me, and it says that I need to ask this of Zoe. So Zoe, completely random question. If you don't want to answer it, that's fine. It's all within your power. Let's say in theory somebody really enjoyed this game and are not able to wait until episode 2 to get more 7th C. In theory, let's say that they really don't have time to watch it. They prefer really to listen to things. Is there any podcast you can think of that maybe we could recommend? It was an odd question, so I don't know if that's something
Man,
you
that
can
is
answer or
such an
not.
odd question. It's so odd. I'm gonna need to take a minute and just take a drink out of my writer's room mug. If I knew just of one podcast that really just accentuated 7C and only had let's plays and maybe a couple of episodes teaching you how to play the game, if only I knew what that was.
Take a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the writer's room. I'm not sure.
So I know a lot of you watch our channel and listen to my podcast. One of the things that first of all, Donald Wookie Gunner, he in the credits we call him the matchmaker,
Thank
'cause
you.
and within 5 minutes of Zoe and I meeting each other, it was just like boom boom, we see things the exact same way. And if you listen to the writers room, she does an amazing job of doing a lot of what you saw here, which is here's the role play, here's the storyline, let's play the game, and every once in a while kind of pulls the curtain aside a little bit to explain the mechanics and explain what's happening so that it's a little bit more, so it becomes entertainment and it's educational. Her episodes about the game are absolutely phenomenal, and the concept of the writers room, when you hear it, you're going to fall in love with it, as a fan of our show. John, a special thank you for making the time, man. I can't wait to play again for episode 2.
Oh, there's going to be episode 2.
Oh, there's no question about that. And you, the one that's watching right now, you made it all the way to the end of this very long episode. So I want you to know we appreciate you as well.
Thank you so much.
Take car.
Thanks.
Take car.
Be safe. Take
Take
car.
car.
That's fine. Be safe and well, everyone.
Thank you. Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.